Did you, in collaboration with your friends in the intelligence community, conduct some sort of an investigation of what allegedly happened at Bucha last week, where the American public was told through government sources and media that civilians were tied and hogtied and tortured and executed?
I didn't collaborate with anybody in the intelligence community. Nowadays, the people that I know from the intelligence community have bought lock, stock, and barrel into the government position that Ukraine is the greatest nation in Europe, and so I pretty much stand alone. But I did investigate the open, the available information and open source information.
And what did you find, Scott?
What I found is that without exception, all of the data points to the Ukrainian National Police carrying out a cleansing operation on April 1st that targeted pro-Russian collaborators and what they called Russian saboteurs. And when we say cleansing operation, it means killing them. There's a video where a member of this national police unit asked permission to shoot people who aren't wearing the blue armband, and he was given permission to fire.
Let me get this straight. This is the Ukrainian National Police murdering Ukrainians who are perceived to be insufficiently pro-Ukraine.
Correct. These are Ukrainians who were wearing the white armband that signifies either neutrality or pro-Russian sympathies. They were carrying the green Russian army dry ration packs that the Russians had handed out to the civilians as a humanitarian gesture, and they were gunned down in the streets as they were moving in a direction towards the Russian lines. So they were killed by the Ukrainian National Police. Now, the Ukrainians will claim that this didn't happen. Indeed, the New York Times put out a satellite photograph that says, no, these bodies were there on March 19th. I don't want to get too graphic on your show, but I've been around dead bodies, and bodies that were killed on March 19th, left out in damp weather and temperatures of 40, 50, 60 degrees, will not present themselves as they're presented in those photographs. It'll be something quite different. Any police forensic investigator knows exactly what I'm talking about. The bloating, double the size, black face, burst bodies, putrid liquid. That's what you'll see 14 days after being killed and left outside unattended. That's not what we saw there.
So
you're telling
us that what we saw was staged, concocted by the Ukrainians, bought and sold and accepted by the American military and the American media?
Well, I'm not saying it's staged. What happened was murder. The Ukrainian National Police went through Bucha and murdered people, murdered them, shot them down the streets. Some of these people had their hands tied behind their back and were shot in the back execution style. This was not a staged event. What happened is the Ukrainians realized that they had a PR problem, and so they shifted the narrative, and that narrative was bought by the U.S., or I'm not going to say bought, it was just parroted. The U.S. knows who killed them. Trust me, the U.S. has the satellite photographs. The U.S. knows exactly what happened, but the U.S. isn't in the business of telling the truth. They're in the business of promulgating Ukrainian lies, and this lie was to create a narrative of Russia as a genocidal state trying to massacre innocent Ukrainian civilians. That's not what happened. The evidence is clear. If we took this trial today, Judge, I can guarantee you I'd be able to make a very strong circumstantial case that this crime was committed by the Ukrainian National Police, and they would have nothing to defend with.